Thank you so much to everybody here for coming out once again. This is our 8th meetup now, so some of you very familiar faces I've seen here since the very beginning. Others are pretty new, and we appreciate everybody coming out. Keep eating though, I won't have you speak. Maybe I will, but probably not, so keep eating, have your face stuff. No worries.
Hello everyone, a new face here. I'm Matthew's cousin, and I'm now going to be co-hosting the Surrey AI events. My name is Itamar. I'm very happy to be here.
So just a little bit about us, so we're not complete strangers to you guys. I got an AI because I got in the whole AI ecosystem from Chris. I had Chris on my podcast, and he got me into the Vancouver AI Meetup. For those of you who haven't been, highly suggest you go, and we have 250 people that come every single month. It's a whole vibe. And then that's how I got into AI, and Itamar got a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, last year I had a startup that got funding from a local AI accelerator, and from there I used it to implement some AI features into it. Those are some pictures of us on the board. Normally I go on my tippy toes on these, so I'm a little bit closer to Matthew's site, but apparently it didn't get it that time.
Perfect.
And I reserve the right to do editorial throughout the night, and these guys have been awesome at Vancouver AI. They help out at registration. You've all checked in with them, seen them there. They've been helping out with cultivating sponsors and partners, and really just like, you've heard me all talk about the BCAI ecosystem. In some ways, like, these guys opened my mind to what's possible in terms of taking the seed and spirit of what we're doing and going other places, right? And this is number 8. Congratulations, guys. Yeah. Riv, thanks for helping get us here, bro. It's really nice to see you here, man. Yeah.
Awesome, yeah. So we're gonna have a couple speakers up. So this is the agenda. I should have put the agenda up there, but I have it all in here. So we're gonna have a couple speakers up, talk about how, first of all, who they are, why they're here, and how they used AI in the past couple weeks, and how we could use that AI that they used and what they found most useful about it. So I'm gonna have a few people I might call on. Mr. X.
Yes, sir.
Paul is the first one. He hasn't been coming for quite some time. He's been super busy growing what he's been growing. We'll chat a little bit about that. But some of you know him, some of you don't. So Paul Rex, please come on up.
Let's give it up for Paul.
Well, thanks so much. I appreciate it, guys. Hi, everybody. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. I'm greatly challenged. That's right. That's okay. I'll do stuff right here. Anyway, my name is Paul Rex. Basically, I work in the area.
Hey, Paul, will you talking to the mic for the
I work
recording?
in the area of life science. We're life science venture capital, essentially, and AI meet. And so, essentially, what we do is we're a regulatory first, risk-averse, go-to-market company. So, essentially, wherever that VCs, PEs, or angels are looking to assist companies in growing, we will help them hopefully in terms of finding what they're looking for. And of course, any of those other ventures that are trying to also match up. And then we actually do what should be done, which is try to help them commercialize. When Matthew was speaking with me, he was asking me to let you know or try to bring up what's going on in life science. And I apologize right now, as they already know all this. But what's going on currently right now is the fact that it's changing just like everywhere else extremely rapidly. Things are shuffling out, almost to the point that it's almost a little bit uncomfortable for certain companies. So I work across basically pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, diagnostics, surgical, med tech, med device, just all across all those different areas. And each different area, as we know, have different ways that they operate, and different ways that they talk, and different cultures. Some are being a little more forward-thinking, like AI health, as we know, is coming along big. And that's actually where a lot of the money is going, the bulk of the money in that science is going there. Biotech is unfortunately getting hit, but that's not to be actually surprising, because biotech, just by the very nature of what it does, spends an awful lot of money, and they take a long time to get through, and they're very highly regulated. That's pulled, a lot of venture capital is pulled back from that. So people obviously want to see returns on their investment, and that's why they're going into AI health. Now, AI health itself is actually splitting off too, because you're getting obviously software as a medical device versus non-software as a medical device. Software as a medical device looks like it's picking up a little bit, and that gets a little interesting also, because it all depends, of course, on where the AI is being used within the algorithms. But there's a lot of really interesting imaging coming up now, like in radiology, things that are going on in oncology as well, which is really going to be helping in terms of what's going on in the market itself. And then when you take a look at how that's adopted, it depends on, are you going to be going direct out to consumer, or are you going to be going into, obviously, the healthcare system? That's going to also determine what's going to be happening there as well. So generally, when we sit down with companies that are trying to determine how they're coming into Canada or how they're going to launch in Canada, because that's a part of what we do as well, you need to take a look at what the rules and regs are, right? As we all know, and I was just talking about this then, is the new AI governance rules are still petering out or finding their way through. They're still tweaking them, but it really pays to do your reg first. If you're going to be going down that path, if you don't know if you're going to go de novo or 510K or whatever, and you're building out everything without knowing that pathway, you can go right down the hill very fast. So my only suggestion would be, the moment you decide you want to build a device or build an AI health, whatever else, is really look into the reg first, and so you can understand how you can start to set out your budgets. Medical device is another interesting area. MedTech is probably, like the sensor area, is probably taking off a little bit faster now. The MedTech sensor area is sometimes becoming really exciting. Just what they're doing, we're seeing it now in consumer areas, with the measuring and everything else. Like if you see the rings that are coming now that are going to be able to tell you, those things are blowing up. Like they're turning into billion-dollar companies. So it's really dynamic when you're coming down that path. Med device in Canada is actually fairly simple. Class 1, think of your Band-Aid. Class 2, basically, it's all about how much damage they think they can do to a person. And the other part is what your marketing claims are. Class 2 basically is like anything that can penetrate the skin. Class 3 is you're getting inside. And Class 4 basically can really harm me. As they're applying AI to, that's when things can get a little bit interesting. And so really knowing what your briefs are before you go in there is really, really important. If you're going down to the States, if you can do the 510K, which is basically if you got a predicate device or something's already been listed, it's an easier way for you to do it. If you've got something that's totally unique, it's something that's called basically de novo, that's going to take you a lot longer, and you're going to have to do your pilots and stuff. And so, long story short, just make sure you do your regs first. When you're getting into diagnostics, the same sort of thing is happening. Diagnostics and medtech are now also crossing, where they're blending as well. So there's a lot of mirroring of things. And then basically when you're getting into pharmaceuticals, which is interesting, pharma in the next 3 years for anybody that's investing, there's a lot of changes that are happening. There's something called a patent cliff. Patent cliff basically means by 2030, a lot of their patents are going to be expiring. So there's going to be a lot of companies that are going to lose a lot of cash. Plus there's new rules now going on in the States that are forcing them to lower the prices. So some of the major firms basically now have put out their own divisions in which are going into the venture capital field and going in first. And the way it works a lot in that sector is it's almost like the lemmings. Big dogs go in and everybody says, oh, what are they doing? But the other part of that is the fact that it's forcing them to actually start to change a little bit because it's being thrust upon them. The other thing is biosimilars now, or, if you're going out, if you have loved ones, basically there's generics that are in injectables. Now there's a new rule that just came in 2025, I think it was in June, that basically is really pushing to get the biosimilars in. And that's obviously changing the market as well. So any of these infusion clinics now, they're going to have the changes, things that are going on in hospitals. Long story short, if you're going to go down the path of pharma and stuff, they're going to be open to some things, but it's like anything, it's going to be who you talk to, right? So essentially, that's basically what we do. The market is very diverse, and the way that people talk to you is diverse, but it's an exciting area. And of course, with AI, we all know that we were just talking about it then. If you want to bring something into an organization, then basically it's always better if you let people know first. The way I look at it is where the money's going, you're seeing it going into AI drug delivery, drug discovery. It's also now, I think, it's going to be going into the non-sexy things, like basically making sure you can get all the paperwork done fast, going into compliance and things like that. So If you got any questions, let me know. But just
Don't invest in big pharma, and your rings are going to be $1 billion industry. Thank you so much, Paul. I really appreciate it. Darren, I want you to come on. I'll give you 60 seconds, and I'll be counting. Talk a little bit about, first of all, who are you, why are you here, what you do. You're going to be doing a keynote. You're going to be one of the keynote speakers in Florida in a week or so, talking about hiring and all that kind of stuff. But towards the end, you're going to talk about AI and how you use AI and what tools you use. So for other people, what tools they could use. So yeah, give us a quick 60 seconds.
Sure. Thanks, Matthew. First time here and first time speaker. Look at that. I was mentioning to Matthew, I do work in the IT space. I have managed IT department. And Matthew was asking how we utilize AI and why I'm here. So I actually made a couple notes because he asked me while I was eating my dinner. Okay, I lost my notes, and that's okay. So the number one way that I'm using AI right now personally is I get 100 emails a day, and that's not an exaggeration. So AI sorts into 9 different categories: marketing, meeting updates. I only see what I need, so it probably saves me 30 to 60 minutes a day. Our IT team has hundreds of tickets come into the ticketing system. AI automatically sorts and prioritizes the tickets. It helps with the response, so we're consistent in how we respond to the customers. It makes us more accurate, especially if English isn't, say, the first language.
What are you using to do that?
I was built into Kaseya, into BMS.
Kaseya.
Yeah. The other thing too is a lot of times people call in, we have telephone calls, right? The techs are talking to the clients on the phone. We use AI in those conversations to do the call recaps, to put those in the tickets. That way, again, consistent messaging. And not only consistent messaging, we now have all the internal notes. So if the client says, oh, the tech said this, well, we can actually follow up. Where else do we use it? Yeah, I don't have my notes here, but yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to ask you a question about your transcriptions. You mentioned it earlier. I was going to bring it up, and then you mentioned in terms of your own personal transcriptions. Now you talked about recording your call transcriptions and stuff. So that's awesome, and it sounds like you're using them effectively. I've recently been wondering if anyone's doing any meta-analysis on them yet. So I've been keeping them for a year now, and I haven't had a chance to do any meta-analysis, but I think I've done small things, like looked at a week's worth of calls. Actually, one thing, I looked at 60 consulting, coaching calls, and I was like, what's my coaching style? I was able to derive but I think some real big unlocks in our whole space in the next very soon is going to be taking all these one-off transcriptions you got or your whole forum of support folks over some period of time and then drawing out the bigger picture arcs.
Yep. So yes to your question and how we do that. I'm actually part of a larger organization out of Dallas, Texas. And there's about 400 MSPs as part of that organization. So you can imagine the amount of tickets that get generated on a day. So the larger organization is looking at analyzing those tickets and making it, say for instance, if we're choosing security software. So it's not just Darren as a company, what we should use, what's the data telling us? Internally, at a smaller scale, if my customer service lead is having a meeting, like a quarterly business review with a client, he can dump all the ticket data into the GPT and give it direction based upon the client he's meeting. Maybe you're meeting a CFO, maybe you're meeting a CEO, maybe you're just meeting a general manager, so then the tonalities and things that can match, but it's still reporting on the data that's been provided.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Darren. Next, we're going to have somebody we all know dear to our hearts. Chris Crew, come on up here. I know you got a couple announcements about BC Plus AI and a whole bunch of membership stuff and like the community announcements overcap.
That's mostly what it is, yeah. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks, guys, for sharing. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Darren. It's awesome, man. Yeah, Barry, nice to see you out here. Thanks for bringing in your family. Shang, it's been a while. Cool to see you. Kareem, newest member. Welcome, bro. Dean, always late, but always here, man. I can't wait to give you a hug soon. Okay, I just gotta rip through a few things. Like when Riv used to do the AI news, I really liked that. And so this is like my version of Riv's AI news, but for like our community kind of thing. Minister Solomon did the AI task force. It's open right now. Consultation open. You got till the end of the month to get your feedback and opinions in. You're welcome to do that on your own, or you're welcome to talk to me. I've been publishing some stuff. I'd love to incorporate your feedback. You can read the stuff I've been publishing. If it aligns, you can attaboy me. If it doesn't, you can tell me more things I need to think about. We can try to incorporate that into. But this is the time to talk about what your hopes and dreams are for AI in Canada, because they're listening actively, supposedly. We had our AI in education meetup last week at Ethos Lab. It was our second one. It was epic. There was like 50 people there. Barry and his wife came. Schwartzman and Itamar came. Some other folks from here came. Armin didn't come. But yeah, it was awesome. So that subgroup is alive and well, thriving. And Ethos Labs, the Black-centered youth space that we get to have this thing at, is just such an amazing partner. Shout out to Antonia. She's been great. Mind, AI, and Consciousness meetup is tomorrow. Dean, you coming? You've done your readings? Bro, that's why you've been so quiet lately. You've had your nose in a book. Loki's got us reading some great shit by this guy, Paul Watts, around consciousness, theories of consciousness, the mind, thought experiments, and how AI can help us to understand ourselves as we try to figure out what the fuck it is at the same time. Yeah, we are just about hitting 100 members. Kareem joined today. Schwartzman joined today. Probably some others because I sent out a big email. We're almost 100. Get on in there. There's all sorts of great reasons to do. You can ask me or ask somebody else. I'm not here to hard pitch, but it helps a lot right now to join. Yeah, and we've had 4 office hours the last 4 Fridays. We get together for an hour during lunchtime on Friday. We have circle time. I give some announcements. We talk about shit. Prajwal gave us a GitHub 101 last week. That was awesome because a lot of us are doing hackathon projects. The week before that, Zara gave us a Discord 101. So we're like learning stuff, sharing things. That's the members only stuff. That's one of the cool reasons to join, but there's lots of great reasons. Co-working sessions, we got one coming up. Oh fuck, in fact, is there a co-working session tonight for BC AI that Zara hopefully is running right now? Good thing it's the first one because no one's gonna miss it. Yo, just a couple personal updates about my AI life. I wrapped up the Google lab that I've been teaching for the last 6 months, Thursday. And I got 65 young AI birds out the nest. They all went through, finished up. We're just doing our final report outs to Google, and I'm happy to say I won't be doing it again. It was great, but to be honest with you guys, this is actually the room to do it in. Why you guys are my friends. I said yes for ego. And because I thought it'd be cool, and I wanted to say, oh, you guys, I was running a Google AI lab and stuff. But it's all my other things in my life pull me in the same direction. Diginomics, BC AI, Vancouver AI, the upgrade, all these things are clustered into one, and a lot of you guys know about that and have visibility into all these things. But the Google lab was just this other albatross that I did over here that's worked up 20 or 30 hours a week and only paid me back in US dollars, which sounds great. I'm not just in it for the money, I'm here to make an impact, build something, do some community things, and so I'm happy to say that I'm a consultant to the project, so I won't be the lead coach anymore. Yeah. And also I'm running 4 AI upgrade programs right now, the 6-week certification. Armin just graduated yesterday. Some of you guys, Matthew, Dean, some others probably went through. But this is the first time I've run 4 simultaneously, and so we're pumping out like 70 graduated people with certificates on Thursday. That'll be it. The next one starts a couple weeks later. It's an awesome way to just wrap your head around AI. We have our hands in tools, but I'm not teaching tools. I'm teaching mindsets and techniques and methods that are more timeless than any particular tool. I think that's really all I want to say. That's what's going on in the world from my perspective. Anything else I need to say here, Schwartzman? All right, bro. Thank you.
I think you could fit a couple more things in your schedule though if you really try.
I said a couple more things, what? Then I was
You could fit in your schedule.
I just am removing things from my schedule, bro. This is what I'm so excited about.
I think it would be cool is to get my sister and her good friend up who's shaking her head. They're both in school, grade 12. Both in grade 12. How are they using AI? Because I know our last event, we had a big debate about how AI is used in school and how the younger generation sees AI. Because I know, for example, for some of you older folks, you only use AI to help you read this article faster or whatnot. But a lot of younger people use it for, let's just say, emotional support. So you guys won't use that, but use it for emotional support or like other family-related guidance. So I want them both to come on up here. Come on.
Oh, you got this. You've got this stage many times.
Yeah, you've been on stage. It's not that scary.
Eliza Schwartzman and Noah TTFC.
Noah TTFC coming up here and say how you're using AI with school without cheating. With cheating, I take that back.
Hi, I'm Noah. So we're both in grade 12, and we have some subjects we don't really care about, but we need them to graduate. So we use AI to do those subjects. Yeah.
Specifically, what do you use them to do when you say do those subjects? What are you talking about?
Like take a screenshot of the assignment, send it to ChatGPT, get the answers.
So like a math assignment? What type of assignment? What did you screenshot last and stuck in AI?
Like AP psychology notes. Yeah.
Take these notes.
And study with them. So we take them, we take a picture. That's what we did actually last time when we were studying. We took a picture of all the notes and we said, give them, make us questions and just test us on it. Quiz them on us.
And why is that cheating?
So it's not cheating. That's not really cheating. Yeah, that's actually a good way to use it because it helps us learn. There's beneficial things. Yeah, it helps us learn.
Just, you don't have to like bend down to it. Just let's gently keep our faces pointed at it.
Yeah, the thing that we used, it was actually beneficial for us.
Yeah, so that's one. So you're finding it better to like, because then it can read it back to you, or are you making like podcasts and stuff?
I haven't tried that yet.
Okay, you want to know how I cheat, but it's not cheating.
Yeah.
It's like when every time someone gives you a class syllabus, or every time you go to a lecture, you should just record it on your phone, and then put the transcript in this thing like Notebook LM or whatever. And so now you've got 4 transcripts of 4 talks, plus the handouts, plus the scanned-in little things for your phone. And you're like, yo, give me 20-minute podcast on prep for the midterm tomorrow. Here's the midterm prep shit like that. And it's like, yeah, it's like, in 1 hour you can absorb the whole semester of anything.
We just don't really have that much like lectures because it's not like in university it's just like lecture and they just talk to us. This is more of like a 1-sentence like question of what we're supposed to do and then we just do it. So it's more like a, I don't know, yeah.
But we definitely use it to study. Like sometimes you have teachers that don't really teach well, so AI explains it better, and then you understand it.
That must be more obvious than ever, like when teachers can't teach well, because there must be some things that are interesting, where there's personality conflicts or lack of skill, where then you go use AI to actually learn the shit you want. Will you expand upon that essay topic for us?
Yeah.
I have a funny question. So it's been a few years since I've been in high school. I've been going to university, and the kind of perception teachers have towards it in university, pretty negative when it comes to using AI. Is that reciprocated in high school still? Like,
Some classes.
We have one business class that our teacher encourages us to use it, but most of our classes are teachers are very against AI, even if you're just using it to help you learn. So you don't really tell our teachers when we use it. But yeah.
And some classes they say if we use AI for this assignment or whatever, we get a 0 right away if she catches us using them.
It seems like such a gray area with different rules for different people that you'd want to hide it just because you're not really sure, because no one really knows. You're not really sure what, like, what's okay, what's not okay.
Yeah. And in our business class, he encourages us to use AI. There are some assignments where we're supposed to find out what kind of a person we are. So we asked ChatGPT to give us examples or whatever, and we're supposed to write it down. So we're supposed to use AI for some things.
How does it feel different in those? Do you have opinions on the classes where you're not supposed to use it and it's outlawed versus the business class where the guy's like, here's a good idea?
I found out that like the courses that encourage us to use AI, they're actually beneficial in life, and the ones that we're not allowed,
Please finish your statement. The ones where you're not allowed.
Yes.
the ones that we're not allowed to use AI, they're not actually useful in life, and we're not actually going to use them in life.
Ouch, that's like a sick burn. Like, I'm definitely gonna drop that at the educators meetup, right? From the mouth of students, teachers that allow us to use AI, it's more likely that thing is perceived by the student as useful in their life and career, and the people that won't let them, it's because it's useless. Oh my God. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Answers.
Thank you. That's my sister as well. Next, if we could actually have Michelle Diamond come up. If she's okay with that. You're the photographer for the event, and we obviously really appreciate you making the trip out every month. So if you could just talk a little bit about what you do, how you do it.
I do live in Surrey, so I'm happy to support you guys. And sometimes we talk about the one thing that AI won't be able to take away, which is your personal brand. And The reason why I bring my lighting and I try and get these amazing photos of you guys speaking, even if it's just for 60 seconds, is because when you put those polished images on Instagram or LinkedIn, or you say, hey, I was at this event, and then there's a really nice photo, it looks like a magazine photo, people, they stop their scroll and then give you that attention. And then that will create momentum to people reaching out to you, or you reaching out to people that might comment on your photo. So there is a big benefit to having those polished photos. I offer mini sessions every month that are like very fast, 10 images, 20 minutes, $200. And I just want people to come and see me like 4 or 5 times a year and really just build their personal brand with this consistent set of images. And I'm going into Christmas now, even if you want to book photos with your family, just the more you can put yourself out online and also control the way that those photos look, the more you're just building that celebrity status for yourself. So I think it's a good thing. Nice to see you all.
Thanks for being here, Michelle.
We had a question?
Yes. I have a question.
For Michelle, yes.
No offense, but nowadays, like if I just take a picture from my phone and ask any AI tool to polish it and put in 10 pictures and say put all of these and remove any extra background people or sharpen the image and all those things, like how would that maybe possible?
Yeah, and you should do that also as a supplement for your posting of yourself online. But there's 2 things about that. Number one, it's not real. And sometimes people, they find it's not authentic if they can tell that it's done by AI, and that's not good for your personal brand. And number 2, when you book a one-on-one shoot with me, it's not just like I'm sitting there just like taking photos. I'm coaching you on like how to pose and what your body language is saying about you and how you want to be portrayed and like fixing your clothes, and you know that, right?
Absolutely.
It's that celebrity treatment that you can have at such an affordable price. Like I say, you've probably thrown out $200 worth of groceries that like rot in the back of your fridge or something like that. So it's not a big commitment, but you will come out and be like, oh, I feel so good. Oh man, this shit was great. Can't wait to see the images. And then you're posting, and then you have that momentum. So it's.
I love this question, man. Partially because it misses the point so hard, but I love it because it's creating this dialogue, which is like, these social media beasts, I see your hand, Darren. These social media beasts are so hungry, man, for stuff all the time. And like, some of your friends might know you're here, colleagues know you're here tonight. You looking good, microphone in your hand, people leaning in, paying attention. Now take that and run it through all your cool AI processes, making it that much better, remix it and do cool things. But she's given us this like month by month storytelling mechanism where like, Eliza can go back and see herself speaking here 3 times over the last year, telling the story of herself as an entrepreneur, the growth in the thing, now back in school. Like, there's all this storytelling that can be done that's like rich, and like the most important part, the narrative arc in this synthetic age is so important, man. And everything you say is true, but it can be layered on top of all this cool shit, and then it just gets better. Darren.
People want to see you win, and when you're posting stuff online where it's like you didn't take it, you're not trying so hard. It's like, oh, I was at this event and this photo was captured of me because I'm important and now I'm sharing it, and then you credit the photographer and you also attach to my personal brand and like, oh, you were shot by Michelle Diamond. There's that aspect too.
I was just going to say, I actually, last year I was in a magazine and they asked me to submit a photo. And I didn't want to go to professional photo done, so I used AI to generate the photo based upon 10 photos or whatever. And the magazine actually rejected it, and they said they knew it was AI and they wanted an actual authentic photo.
Even if it was passable and it got accepted, I still think everything's valid, right?
It's like the little black dress. When you're shopping at the mall and you find like a really nice suit or a really nice dress, you want to buy it before you have the occasion for which you need it, so that you just have it in the background. And also, like, people change. Like, they gain weight, they get a beard, then they shave it, their hair changes. And when you're using stuff from 5 years ago, people are like, oh, they don't really really care about that. That's not important to them. But who is it important to? Like celebrities, people that are really taking themselves seriously, they're posting content all the time. Like, they have teams around them that are.
And furthermore, I was a professional traveling photographer for 20 years, and my experience with Midjourney and me seeing how it was going to change the whole industry is like what made me wake up to AI or whatever, right? But I think Michelle's sweet spot, he's one of the last remaining safe spaces in the AI world, because she's doing, like, if yours was like a car ad, it would make more sense for you to do your method than to hire Michelle, probably, to come in and shoot all these cars and do this whole thing, but that's not what she's doing. In my opinion, the reason I hired you and bring you back on, she's doing community documentation and storytelling, the writing and crafting of our tales, and the ability for you to leave here tonight with 5 photos of yourself that you can stay on your LinkedIn and tell the stories of what happened here too, you know? That is a safe space maybe from AI for a while, until we all have like microscopic drones filming our whole life
Yeah.
from our perspective or something like that, or the watchful eye in every corner that we can subscribe to. Then you pay $5 when you leave a room, and all these images get blasted into your phone or you from every. But this is for a while. Like, I don't mean to be diminishing, but like pet photos, family photos, Christmas photos, event photos, group portraits. This is for a while a safe space. It's not necessarily the high art of photography, but you've risen yours to a very high, like, you've got a signature style.
And also, I have the human experience of that. I can tell if I'm posing someone in a certain way and they're not like relaxing their shoulders, they're like breathing shallow, like they feel uncomfortable. And I've got to kind of hype them up and then get that shot, and then they're like laughing from their eyes. And I'll just keep talking to you until you're comfortable, and then I'll get the shot and you're like, oh, that looks so good. I'm like, I don't know. We're just trust me.
Before you even see the photos, you gain a lot of confidence just from working with a lady in this.
Yeah, it's an experience. Coming to get a photo shoot is an experience that is like a very elite experience, but I'm making it accessible to people so that they can just be like, wow, I'm at that vibrational match to the people that do this normally. Like when you see celebrities at the Oscars or the Academy Awards and they're going on the red carpet and they're putting the weight on their back leg and then they're like posing and they've got their angle. Like when I ask people, oh, what side of your face do you prefer? And they're like, I don't know, neither. I'm like, you should know that. Like you should know what is your best power pose, like when you're at a shoot, at an event. If I'm not there. If I'm there, I will pose you.
Thank you.
Can I just add one more thing to this?
Didn't even know it's not.
I think Chris mentioned something really interesting. Everybody in this room, we all can be replaced with AI at some point in the future, but it's that human element, right? I work in HR, and AI can easily do my job, but yet people still want to work with me because there's that human element piece, right? That sitting out on the table conversing, and which is what I think Chris is trying to push for as well. We should never forget the human piece of it, right? Yeah, AI makes it a lot easier, but we still need that one person, the human-centric piece of it, yeah.
Like, also, I feel like you can go to McDonald's and you can satiate yourself, or you can go to the most fancy restaurant and have the chef come out and making the food in front of you. It's about that experience. And like what you put in your body is your choice, right? You go to Freshly Work, you get the highest quality protein, like all vegetables, like you go keto, whatever. Then it's all within your choice. So you can also make the choices to make yourself look better online too. But feeling like you can get a photo shoot done once and then just be good is like eating a meal that satiates you so much that you're never hungry again. There will always be a need to continually renew yourself online.
Thank you. Thanks for being a part of all this.
Yeah. And I encourage everybody, that was a fascinating question. I encourage everybody to ask a whole bunch of questions because nothing here, like no one's recording. You could say your political beliefs, probably not. But yeah, this is your very first time coming out. Cool with coming up and giving us 30 seconds about who are you, what do you do, and how you used AI in the last couple of weeks.
There you go.
And he's only new to Surrey. He's been to Vancouver a couple times.
Yes.
Just one.
Okay.
Yeah, I myself, Amol. I'm working as product manager with Global Relay, and mainly my product basically handles our new customers on board to, we have our own archive to store their customers' data. So my product basically converts all of that our company standard format, and then we have AI tools that have governance and surveillance on top of that data. So for each customer, so we can figure out if a company wants, we can figure out if any of their, for instance, employees have been talking maybe negative over the emails or having any sort of market manipulation and all this. So yeah, we do have a couple of governance models and surveillance models from that. Personally, I think lately I've used AI to come up with the AI roadmap plan for me as I'm trying to get into AI product management. So suggest me some courses or suggest me where should I start, or maybe just come up with some like very easy idea. Maybe it's existing, but to build an AI tool that gives me hands-on experience on how I can build my own AI tools with my own imagination, right?
What happens if your surveillance tool finds negative sentiment in employee emails?
So what we do is for each of our customers, they have like set of
Rules like
rules, and they have some certain set of people who basically are flagged that okay, within your data set we have found like these 5 emails that based on our data and our analytics it contains market manipulation. So a company's representative will go through those mails and see if they are true or not true. If they are true,
Is this a compliance issue?
yes.
So you're looking for market manipulation for compliance, for publicly traded securities type stuff.
Not publicly, just for our customers. So what we do, we archive.
You're not looking for bad behavior. You're looking for breaches.
We're looking for bad behavior. So what we have data from customers is email data from there. And we go through their emails and other conversations basically mainly for financial institutions. And we see if there is any sort of market manipulation
Fraud.
that those two people within the mail chains they have been doing.
Wow.
Maybe like a third party reached out to you saying, I've heard.
My mind is blown. I know this is possible, but it's sci-fi to me that I could go to my ISP who was running mail through, make some rules, programmatic rules, look for these things, and when you see these things, do these things.
Right. The thing is,
Wow.
like now, like if you look at it today, you may not have those analytics for data that was maybe let's say 5 years before or 10 years before. So if you have any historical data, because we have all of that data.
You're looking at real-time and historical data.
Yes.
Oh, fuck,
so
man.
We go through all of that data and figure out any of those manipulations, or there are other like negative wordings, or maybe.
How far down the line can you see if you find exceptions with your software and you elevate them to the representatives? Then what happens?
So they'll look at it and they'll take relevant actions.
What kind of actions?
I'm not sure of that.
Yeah.
They would be more like company-based, company-specific, but we just let them know that, okay, this is happening in this conversation. Now it's up to you, how do you handle that?
So interesting, man. Thank you.
I think, yeah.
Interesting.
That's all.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. I did want to actually Dean in the back. I want you to come on up here because I actually had Dean on my podcast about 2 days ago. You're working on a startup, right? In healthcare, virtual health technologies. You're working too many hours a day. How do you use AI to help you level out the workload? Give us a quick 60 seconds.
Oh, 60 seconds. So thank you everyone for being here and putting me on the spot. I wasn't expecting anyone to speak
I've
today.
never seen you short of words, Dean.
I'll try my best. So the question was how to use AI in my personal life.
No, this week. One way.
Or
you've
this
used,
week.
Yeah, one way you've used AI to
Help you with all the work that you do.
Okay.
give us your secret recipe.
I'm a big fan of Grok. So Grok that Elon has created. And I used to use ChatGPT, but I started using Grok more often. And I think that Grok is better at advanced research. So using Grok to do in-depth research and getting answers quickly, I think is one of the best tools. I've been using AI a lot, and I'm still often come back to Chinese AI. And that is because Chinese AI is more uncensored. And it gives you another alternative answers to the questions you seek. Sometimes I have a code and I have a piece of code that is broken and I'm trying to fix it. So I ask Grok, it gives me an answer. I plug it in, try to run it, it doesn't work. So I ask then a whole bunch of other things, ChatGPT, doesn't work. And then I go to Clan 3, which is made by Itamar, Chinese model. And it gives me fantastic code. And it works from right on. So like Chinese AI, and one of the things they used this week was Quant 3, just because it works and it does great codings. So yeah, probably like 60 to 70% of my time every day it's like coding.
I've been using Grok too, but I've been using it as like a second or third voice in the choir in a couple different scenarios. One's like when every time I start a new anything, I run a deep research on all the major models to build a PDF that can ground a knowledge base. So if I'm like right about healthcare AI, I go to Grok, Claude, Perplexity, and ChatGPT, and I do the deep research on the same prompt, and I have it run for the hour. And I grab those PDFs and I put them in like a notebook LM or something like that. And now I've got a fucking assistant in an hour that knows as much as anybody in the world about any particular topic through those.
Actually, what I did a couple of months ago, I did exactly the same thing, except my prompt was, who's the world's best financial stock advisor? Help me determine which are the good stocks and which is the bad stocks, what is happening in the market trend. And one of my prompts was basically, my big prompt for Grok is, you do stock analysis based on this indicators. So it gives a table. And then I ask, give me X analysis of what are the tendencies on X for the stock. So every time I ask, like, hey, give me a good stock that's just trending right now on stock market for AI. And so it gives me several lists, and then it runs through a couple of times, and then it gives me a strategy, if it's good to buy or not. So what happened was, I started playing around, and I put $5,000 in one of my portfolios just to play around and see how this thing will work. On Thursday, right before the last Friday week when Trump was announcement, came through and the stock market, just like that.
Are these fully AI managed portfolios, or they're just
Just
doing?
one fully managed AI portfolio.
So is it trading
It's
agentically or?
No,
Okay.
it sends me a message.
Yeah.
So it then sends me a message and tells me what to do. And so what happened was on Thursday, it sent me a message and said, hey, there's something coming up. I think you should sell first thing in the morning.
And you said fuck off. You didn't listen.
No, I did.
All right.
I sold. So there was a stock that I was trading. And it was actually good stock, and I sold it.
Yeah.
And by the time it was 12 o'clock, after the Trump's announcement, it sank.
So this one's monitoring your
8-10%.
portfolio that it's set up, and it's monitoring news, and you've opted into some alerts, and then you get to choose if you want to trade based on the news, based on the intelligence. Yeah, that's pretty useful.
So I sold it on Friday morning in profit, which is good. So my portfolio went from 5,000 to roughly 6,000, was a small short to swing trade. And now I already asked him like this week, already Monday, I already purchased another stock that was advised to me.
In not the terms of dollar.
I was curious because I had this conversation actually with my dad the other day about what do you think the long-term ramifications of AI on the stock market will be because of this?
Oh, it's just going to be horrible. It's bots trading every day.
Yeah.
It's becoming more and more bot trading and bot manipulation.
No, that's bullshit. Okay, they've already been doing this on Wall Street for 50 years.
For 50 years, exactly.
And now we are getting access to it. So do you really think it's just, is that really your forecast? Oh, it's the doom and gloom of everything because now it's bots trading bots. It's been bots trading for 50 years.
Let me put it this way. It's been bots trading on their end for 20 years. Now it's bots on our end. So how am I going to make money? Because I'm supposed to rip retailers off.
Because you're saying now everyone on your side, the buyer and investor side, has this access to just as good of intelligence and
Correct.
Aha. So it's eliminated your competitive advantage through technology.
Exactly. So who's going to be a real loser in the market? Because the thing is, you don't get money on the stock market. It means you're stealing money from someone who basically lost, so you try to win. The worst one that ever happens right now is not the stock market, but actually crypto. Because if you follow the news and look at the crypto market and how the Bitcoin just fell through, it does an amazing job.
When? Today?
No, Friday too.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't actually Trump who dropped the market. No, it was actually Binance and other trade exchange. Basically, I would say the owners of a trade exchange for Bitcoin, for places like a Binance and all those things, they manipulated. They manipulate and drop the price. And what was happening is if you look through PAGs, if you look through other platforms, trading platforms, you see how people are so upset because even those who had a stop loss, who were doing leverage, 2x, 3x, it doesn't matter.
Wiped out.
They were wiped out so badly because the price dropped beyond any possible reason for some of the coins traded. Like you were trading a coin for $2 and you got all the way to 0.1 for a microsecond, and then you report that your entire account was liquidated?
Play shitty games, win shitty prizes, bro.
There we go. So that's, I think, the biggest manipulation is happening, not so much in the stock market itself, but crypto market just became bananas. It's just so bad.
Yeah.
Don't trade. Don't do the trading on the crypto market. Yes, sir.
When it comes to censorship, you're saying use Gwen, use Grok. Between the two, which one would you say is more censored?
I think they all have certain level of censorship. And the thing is, if you ask ChatGPT and Grok to tell you how to make atomic bomb or how to make poison, none of them will tell you. If you really want to change the world and build your own homemade atomic bomb, unfortunately, that's not the programs that you need. But all of the AI models, LLM models, they are all uncensored in its naked version. And so when you have a naked version, it can tell you whatever you want, completely uncensored.
I want to answer that a little bit different too. Like Grok's a little bit different because it has real-time access to X data like at the core. So when Grok is running, an advantage it has over the other AIs is that none of them all have X's knowledge-based database right there at its core. But that's also regulated by American public peer perceptions and like the regulations of like speech in America and stuff like that. So it has this like more depth understanding of maybe the outlying acceptable opinions, maybe like outlier wingism and outlier left wingism. Grok is gonna do a really good job of really talking to you about that and guiding you through because it's got this real-time Twitter access data where Quinn or DeepSeek is gonna be based on its training data plus its ability to search the web. But if you ask those things about, as he was saying, some of the things that might be prohibited in a school library, you're not going to find them on X and you are going to find them on the Chinese stuff.
Absolutely. So Chinese DeepSeek and Quant 3, just coming back to what Chris was saying, is the most classical question is, tell me about that old man who stands in front of a tank painting or photo, and that's basically going to be censored out. Basically, Chinese models never talk about anything related to its own historical, anti-humanitarian, anti-democratic events. It's just erased, never happened.
Jackson, you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question about censorship. So when it comes to using AI within a business context, let's just say like business operations, how does censorship affect that?
Here we go. Healthcare, right? So, Matthew said, I have my own startup company, and it uses AI. Healthcare right now, by ChatGPT, by Grok, etc., they don't provide good healthcare advice. Why? Because it's legally dangerous for these companies to provide any medical advice.
They accrue liability when they answer those questions.
Correct. So let me give you a couple, and there's a couple of reasons besides that is you take AI model, it's like an individual, like high school kids. You give them a whole bunch of books, and you tell them, learn. They learn, they become smart, they graduate, and they stay here on the stage, and you ask them a medical question. Guess what? You ask the same as AI. You train AI on all the books and all the stuff, and you ask them a question. What kind of question will come out? Any medical question that you ask the students or AI will give you an answer. What kind of answer would be? Opinion. And when you're going to ask them, give me a reference to that opinion. And then you'll be like, book by Dr. Michael Jordan, year 2023. So, Grok, ChatGPT, you ask them a medical question, and you ask them, give me a reference to your answer. It will hallucinate it right away. So what it means, 100% liability. So they cancel it out. Sorry, a question?
Yeah, so if you're a company who is working as an AI provider and you get a question like this, isn't it like possible to put in like a terms of service? If you ask this question, hey, this is outside of our ramifications of our action, like you don't want to be liable?
Yeah, exactly. So part of the thing is, so you have a barrier, essentially. So barrier to the market is your risks. Part of the risks and the terms. Yeah, go ahead.
Sam Altman's been talking about this all week. This is the reason I bring it up, because he's lobbying Congress right now to change the laws so that they get the same client-patient privilege that a doctor, lawyer, or psychologist would get. So it's not just the terms of service thing right now, it goes beyond that to the law. The law could subpoena ChatGPT's servers right now in the way that they couldn't subpoena your psychiatrist server. And they're trying to change that. And that brings us to the heart of the matter, which is that the world we want to live in? Do we want to give exception from the law and from legal things to these things or not? And I could see reasons why we would want to, because then we can be honest with them, which means we get the good intelligence and the information out of them. Maybe they're better than the doctors we have access to in the moment, and therefore we want to.
They are better than doctors.
Therefore, we want to unleash them legally to give us the best advice possible, as opposed to right now they're fucking bound gods, essentially. They're like ball gagged.
What happened was, I went back to Northeastern University and we spent half a year with the 5 brilliant grad students, and that was the challenge for us. I told them, hey, I want to create virtual healthcare technology company that has an AI model, and I know AI overall is smarter to make decisions than a human being, but here's the challenges I have. They hallucinate, they give answers, they don't give good recommendations. And so what we came out with, after half a year of work together, is create a protocol, and we took naked, raw AI, and we basically taught AI to do research. So we said, when somebody asks you a medical question, you're not allowed to hallucinate. You're going to use this person's information, that person's information, because we don't want any other person's information, because we want to narrow it down and filter it down and make it as precise as we can. What you're going to do is, you're going to go to the library, to the research, go to the healthcare portal, go to the natural research, PubMed, etc., and you're going to get actual articles and use those articles in your answer. And you're going to give us reference. And that's what my AI does. Because when you come to my platform, you can come now, you can register. You're going to have 2 models, a basic one and an advanced model. The advanced model will answer your medical questions. Will it be medical advice? No. Terms and conditions. It'll be medical guidance and education, because I can educate you.
It's an entertainment product.
It's an educational product. But it provides a very good education that will help you to get conversation with the correct healthcare provider and guide you through that. But sorry, just one second. But that's a patient side. On the physician side, things became interesting. So physician, he has your profile, Chris, age such and such, habits such and such, does this and that. And you take that profile and you say, hey, he has the following symptoms. What are the rate of success for the human doctor, if I said human doctor, of getting the correct diagnosis first time around? Stanford did the studies. It's a 20%. They have publications, a 20%, and the more complex it becomes, the more the rate becomes. So when they took a doctor and they took ChatGPT and a human profile, ChatGPT increased the chance of correct diagnosis to 40%. Doctor plus ChatGPT increased the chance of correct diagnosis to 40%. Because they're copying down what ChatGPT was telling them. When we did our studies at Northeastern Universities, our program increased it to 80%. We published it, we have it published internally, we have the results, but basically when the doctors sit on our platform and they use our platform to make decisions, we're increasing their chance of answer to 80% success.
We're still going to have to be judge.
So yeah?
They're going to have to be human in the loop, right?
Of course,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise there's not going to get passed. But I agree with that.
Yeah.
When you saw the study that...
What's the R stand for?
Study you're talking about.
Stanford, yeah, study.
Yeah. So, and great to see that you're doing it because what you're doing needs to be done. But yeah, no, in order to get legal sign-off, you're always going to have human in the loop, sure.
What's the R stand for?
Human in the loop, so HITL.
HITL.
So it just means that there's...
I've never heard that used in a conversation ever.
It's basically the standard now for medicine. And
HITL. Thank you. You taught me something tonight.
You need to have a human sign-off.
Clear. Yeah, no, I understand the concept, but I never heard the acronym.
Yeah, so that's... But no,
So,
have you heard the acronym?
No, this is the first time, but I heard about, not the acronym, I heard human in the loop.
Of course.
Yeah, no, it's not because I deal with, you're doing the research,
Yeah.
I'm in the industry.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, you're saying.
So physician side, like when
Yeah.
you're working physician side, you feed them the information, lab results, tests, blood tests.
Yes. So that's actually so important. So right now I have a grad student from University of Victoria doing her thesis. So the next couple of months, we're going to be adding a module on our platform that's exactly does this. Because not only you want to get a full profile of a person, You also
What's this? It feeds your blood test back to your doctor? That's the
No,
what-
it's basically what we do right now on our platform is we're creating a model that takes in your lab result. So your doctor says, hey, go do
Got
the
you.
lab
So
work.
feeds lab results to.
You feed the lab results into us.
Is that what you're asking? Yeah.
And yes, it's a fantastic way because we just obtained from the United States roughly 4 million profiles of the lab results as a knowledge base for our AI. We just uploaded it. It was a very hard work.
Amazing.
That's why I don't sleep.
Amazing.
I don't.
Amazing.
So my grad student, her name is Mariam. You can look her up on LinkedIn.
Can I photograph my lab results and stick
Yes,
them?
that's the plan. That's the plan. So the model is there. It's coming up. But the whole point is this. You go out there, get a lab result of your blood work or whatever, your pee, whatever.
We get it. Talk to us like we're smart. Man.
It's only one symbol size. Yes, we can give you some insight about it. Oh, something is off. Your glucose levels, your blood levels, your hemoglobin is off. But maybe it's just an instant of time. You need to have a consistent lab results every 2 weeks or every month, and you need to store it properly and analyze properly by machine.
Which is what these things are good at.
So you can do the trend. Over the time, your testosterone gonna go down. As a man, you actually need to check your testosterone by the age of 40, and you might need testosterone therapy. But we as a man don't talk about it.
Why are you looking at me?
No, look at myself. I have my prescription for testosterone test laying on my table for the past 6 months, and I can't go into blood work and do blood work on that. I should do it.
I'll drive you to the doctor.
I would love that. But actually, I need to do it because I want to feed it into the model in the next 2 months. But the way it works like this, you want to have a big knowledge base. Basically, individuals of different age, different genders, of different diagnoses and
Over time.
conditions over the years. So in this case, we were lucky we got 4 million of lab samples from the United States. Happy, so happy, it was so hard to get. Now, what happens is, you as an individual on our platform, which you should probably go in, take a look, PhD.ai, easy. Log in and register tonight. Take a look and play.
We need to sign that stock agreement before your valuation.
No, it has all the terms. It's gonna be, every you come in, you have to press the terms, and you're gonna get, actually right now on the platform, when you're gonna pass onboarding, what happens is you're gonna sign 4 terms agreement, and you will receive a VHD healthcare identity card, which will actually prepare you for the future conversation with doctors. So we're already at the stage where we're coming up to the beta launch. So going back to this, an idea is your lab results, your personal healthcare information will be matched against the knowledge base. And guess what? Your chance of having algorithm, AI model, to tell you what's happening with you goes up very high likelihood in terms of getting an answer. Because there is no doctor in the world who will be able to scan you, think about you, and compare you to 4 million people. From 4 million people, you're going to be down to 100,000. From 100,000, you're going down to 10,000. From 10,000, you're going to go to 1,000. Yes, go ahead.
Do you want pilots on this yet?
Say again?
Do you want pilots on this yet?
As I said, we're going to get beta. Like, we just finished beta.
I can help you get do some pilots.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
In 2 months. Let's do that. Yep.
Thank you so much. Really, 60 seconds. Very much on the clock. Thank you so much, Dean. Honestly, very educational. Started off in healthcare, went into finance, and kind of circled back to healthcare at the end. I hope everyone enjoyed that. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for speakers. We're now going to go on to a classic game called AI or Not. The premise of the game, for anyone that hasn't played it so far, is we're going to have 2 images, and you're going to guess which one of them is an AI image and which of them is an actual image from a real camera. So yeah, this is our first one. One of them is AI. They're not both Chris. Okay. That's a good one. Okay, put your finger up as 1 if you think the left image is AI. Okay, hands up, hands up. Okay, it's not everyone. Put your hand up if you think the right image is AI. It's actually I didn't. Okay.
That's like an inside joke.
It's an
inside joke.
Okay, hands up. Which one of you guys think the left image is AI?
I think the left one's AI.
Left one's AI? Okay. Hands up if you think the right image is AI. Right image AI? Okay. And it's the left image. The left image is AI. Okay, so you guys are pretty good at this. Okay. Alright. Alright, which one is AI? Do you think the left one is AI? Hands up for left one. Okay, one.
Actually, I think the left one is AI.
Okay, a couple more. 2, 3. So we have.
It took me a minute to figure out what you were saying.
Okay, so 4 for the left side, and then put your hands up if you think the right image is AI.
The right's HDR retouched by a real estate photographer.
And the right is AI. We tried making these a little tricky. Okay, put your hands up if you think the left image is AI generated.
Hands up.
Hands up. Okay, so we have 2. Okay, put your hands up if you think the right image is AI generated. Okay, that's the majority. And the right image is AI generated. Okay, so that's all for our AI photo or not. Let Matthew explain the next concept.
So we're going to do something a little bit different. This is the first time we've ever seen this. What we're going to do is we're going to split the room in half. Dimitri and Dean, you're going to go on this side, but the rest... Actually, no. Dean, you're going on this side. Dimitri, you're going on this side. Good
call,
this side.
young Jedi. Yeah.
All you guys on this side. So we're going to split it into 2 teams, and we're going to have a little debate, okay? This side is going to be for the scenario, right, for whatever it is. This side is going to be against, okay? Remember, for and against. So move tables closer to your group so you all can sit around 1 or 2 tables so you guys can all discuss. So right through the middle. Let's move you guys close to this table, and let's move all you guys up to the front right here.
Let's combine.
All right.
Yeah, sorry for making you guys move. You guys are probably so comfortable in your seats, but perfect.
Let's move this table over here as well. See here.
Okay. Now Arlen's coming back. Okay, so Chris is coming back. Okay. Okay, attention back here quickly. So, this side is for whatever the debate is. Okay, you guys are for. You guys are against. I think Chris is coming back. He's doing something. Okay? So, for group, scan the left QR code. Against group, scan the right. If you guys need to get closer, go for it. What we're going to do is you guys have to pick one representative in your group to be the guy that debates the other team. Okay? So you guys, make sure you guys have someone in mind on who's going to do that, okay? You guys are all working together.
Has everyone scanned the QR codes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Itamar, do you want to go over the scenario?
Okay, so this is going to be what we're going to debate. So you guys have an education company. So you guys are the board of one education company. You guys are the board of the same education company. And you guys have basically made an AI teacher. Okay, so this AI teacher is essentially tailored to every single student's. It increases its average. The average student has scores by 30%. Obviously never gets tired, frustrated. All the benefits of an AI version of a regular teacher. Your problem is the school district. So basically, there's an education company that you guys are in charge of. And then a school district wants to replace 50% of its students with these AI bots, right? With these AI... Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Okay, so the school district wants to replace 50% of its teachers with these AI bots. So I'm sorry, this is a mistake. You guys are on the board, not from the AI company. So you guys are on the board of education, and you guys are going to be tasked with debating whether or not it should replace 50% of the teachers with AI, or if it doesn't do that. So the group that's for it is going to be arguing for replacing the teachers with these AI tutors. And the group against is obviously going to be debating against that topic. So on the next slide, so you get 8 minutes. You can use AI for your own research, coming up with any sort of arguments. And then we're gonna have the representatives from each group go over their own cases from there. So 8 minutes starts now.
Just reading what he said.
they engage a lot.
Or basically,
Tailor things
is by using the very tired
You'll be making your cases to me. I'm the judge.
My wife's a teacher. You'll never replace her.
Torn bar.
I think it's already happening in certain countries where they're utilizing AI a lot more in the classroom.
We're all so
That's a good point. Because I think it's a good point. I don't think it's maybe ethically good to put AI in charge of discipline. Teachers are faced with this they're faced with kids who misbehave.
Yeah, and I think like you guys are in school.
The scenario is back up on the screen.
Some of your teachers may not teach in a style that you understand or have the right tonalities or give the right direction. And it may be schedule too, yeah.
Or
I think we're already moving towards technology. You look at what Goldman happened, all the, at least in the local school districts, like in Langley, they moved to Teams and your files were on Teams or communicating through Teams, so they're already moving more towards using technology.
and because we're only losing half of the teachers, we're not really missing out on the social element of the school, because there's still half of the teachers are still in the class for half of the time. Because if it was zero teacher time, then you're missing out on
The human emotion and the empathy and all the other pieces.
It's also more cost effective and flexible.
I think sometimes, like, if I was a student, and I know a lot of times, like, I was not a good student, but a lot of times I maybe wasn't comfortable to go talk to the teacher and tell them what I didn't understand. But I'm comfortable talking to the AI because I feel like it doesn't judge me.
Teachers have bad days, good days, and it all affects how they teach.
And my wife's a teacher, and we've had end-of-year school parties with all the other teachers. And it's interesting things that happen in their life that control their emotion and how they react and how they act. Where AI is going to be more consistent because you're going to give it the guardrails.
So I guess as a student, you can't really suck up to it because it's going to be affected by the compliments and other things when you're talking to AI. It won't increase your mark because you have AI.
Coursera and all them, I mean, they're all doing it now. I mean, you can download. I don't even know, by the way, why you're using Coursera, to be honest. We might talk about that later. But I mean, Coursera, quite frankly, is not worth the money. But that's side point. But you can create your own course, right? You can take in the information. You can build when you quick quizzes. You can build them all in. So it does leave you that aspect as well. That's it. But I agree with you in terms of that flexibility and cost effectiveness.
Have that conversation, like you want to get to know birds bad. But if you're talking about a strong conflict, you ask it something, it says you ask it,
Great idea.
Right. Different sort of thing, this is a great idea, but that experiment, this is a great idea. AI users handle that.
Well, I think we're only replacing 50%. You still have the teachers.
But those teachers are for the other if I'm being taught by the
Is that how you understood it? Like 50% or was it? I just thought we were losing 50% of teachers.
That's how I understood it. Because obviously there are some courses, like physical education, and there probably be
Home ec, things like that.
And it's not just that. Come back to what we were talking about. Certain teachers, as we all know, are not going to go from the book. They're doing their own stuff. So I was asking my daughter the other days, I'll just go on and check it out because help that information is not going to be there. But if they program it, like if they got on create their own GPT, they load it up with material. This is the book.
Teachers are teaching. I would definitely prefer AI real teachers have a lot of that happens at our schools.
AI has bias.
Yeah, but not as much as like they would favor other students and
Like even like we have one teacher that we all took the same quiz, but everybody picked my answer. For example, everybody knew that was the answer. The teacher thought it wasn't for some reason. We even asked AI or whatever, and it said that the teacher's wrong. We went to like other teachers, other AP psychology teachers. They're like, oh yeah, your teacher's like is wrong, but I'm not going to get into it or whatever. And then we talked to the principal actually. He said he'll talk to her. She's wrong. Like, even AI said she's wrong. She still doesn't think she's wrong.
yeah, and if the teacher's teaching style doesn't align with your learning style, then it's really hard to learn in a class. So I think with AI, you can always ask them to teach you in a different way, and you can be really helpful if you have a different learning style.
Or like if you think about it, like in Canada, we have such a diverse group of people from newcomers to Canada. Maybe they don't understand English as well. The AI could teach them in multiple languages, and that would be helpful to a lot of people. Teachers.
I think one thing, like you just mentioned, like AEBI can teach us in our own way. Just recently, we had that custom thing where you can say like, I'm very enthusiastic about cars and everything, so whenever I ask you a question, respond to me or give me examples related to like a car or automotive industry or something. So now if I ask it like, how do I use a computer? That's like switching on CPU.
Well, I don't know what kind of
fascinating. Like you can say I'm like a 4-year-old kid, so explain it to me in that manner. So no matter how complex the topic is, it will teach you as a 4-year-old. Like you are.
Purposely ask I think one of the biggest things that everybody learns at their own pace. The teachers are accustomed to taking a class full of 30 people and trying to find an average for those that are small and in fact understanding how to teach.
I don't even think that's it. I think they go to who's ever the slowest and they get all the attention and no one else gets any attention.
Everybody else misses out. And
Yeah.
where when it's AI, it's goes to your speed.
You can ask
Everybody,
yeah. What exactly is the purpose? During my school, I was like, so I asking questions like maybe my question is done and I'm probably or something, but now I
trying to outwork class.
and then it becomes, I think, this grading technique. The more you talk to the teacher, the more they remember you and the more competent you get. So it kind of removes that bias, which I face.
How do you guarantee that the kid learning to retain all the information, not just memorize it?
Partly, I was going to the professors, they remember my face, they call me
Because I'm more evident for you anyway, they see you're trying harder.
right. So, which I feel like if I'm doing if I'm finishing the assignments, I will be there on that. It should not be based on I'm interacting with the teacher. Maybe I'm interacting with the student. That bias is
I share the story of one of the younger kids who's 6, and we're talking about some wealthy company, they have 10 billion right management. We're trying to explain to a child what is 10 billion really. So not doing what does that mean? How much money is that? Explaining to the 6. So yeah, I'll just like, I'll explain it. And she started giving these different scenarios, and how can you not clear? Okay, explain it them differently. Okay, imagine you have a piggy bank full of M&Ms, and you put them throughout one football field. You're gonna need 100 of these football fields for $1 trillion. So, how many ways of explaining it to? Okay, we're gonna wrap age level.
Okay, let's go ahead and wrap the research part in the next minute or so and prepare your opening statements. This will be the last time you're in groups like this.
And make sure you pick that one representative that's going to win you the entire debate, so choose wisely.
So we wanted you to. You can talk passionately about sacking off your thesis.
She's also a student.
Yeah. You are the student. So, yeah, I would say something like the early research shows that students who use AI score higher than students who score higher than students. And we're talking about large. We have a government Well, it actually tells us all this stuff here. So students using it as group test work with 30% of average. So it never gets tired or frustrated or plays favorites. It's available 24/7, and it can teach in any language. Pretty much every, I should have just read the document here.
Never gonna get mad.
Never say that when you mentioned earlier, I can study those topics which I am interested in. It will be useful in future. Study this topic.
A lot. Because
Explain to me what that was.
so you can create your own chat. You can create your own GPT very easy.
Based on whatever information you're going to get.
Yeah, it's so easy, it's crazy. Yeah, so it's a school. I'll just load it. Yeah.
For example, it's on the curriculum.
Load it, it's two chats. It's a, like a, then of course, then the teaching materials are actually done. According to curriculum. And so therefore, they should, you know, hire a school.
What are you going to be as a debater?
If you don't understand something, you can. What's a simple
You don't know if you're going to network accessing the library.
And that's first.
So by doing that, I think it would increase
Maybe flourishing.
I wonder what the query that whole.
But that's I think behind the curve. Let's take a look at any other algorithms.
Look, if you get a teacher together, it's this is only 50%.
Yeah.
Okay, is everybody ready? Perfect. We'll have, how should we do this? All right, everybody move, you guys can move back to your tables where you were at. We'll get started here.
Come here. Listen to Matthew. He's trying to call the back and forth.
Okay, we'll have first person that is in charge. We'll have whoever that is right here. And the person who is for is against. For, we'll have you guys come up right here. Who's your speaker? Okay.
You pick the strong speaker.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so each person gets 3 minutes to state your arguments. Okay, and there'll be a timer on it. And yeah, rock, paper, scissors. Whoever wins goes first.
Okay. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Perfect.
Okay.
Noah?
Wow.
There you go. This is for, this is against.
Okay, so my team is for using AI in education for teachers. So whatever point is, when you use AI, there's not really a lot of bias. Like some teachers tend to favorite some students over others, which affects your grade, and it's really annoying. So AI doesn't really do that. And another thing is AI is really patient. So with teachers, if their teaching style doesn't align with your learning style, you can't really learn that well. And that's also like another negative thing about school. So with AI, you can keep asking it to explain it to you. You can ask it to explain like you're 4 years old or like any mnemonics, any metaphors you want. So it helps really maintain it in your memory. And with 30 students in a class that teachers are teaching, you can't really cater to every single student individually, right? You have to have one teaching thing. If some people have questions, then you ask. But it's not really catered with AI since it's personalized to each student. It's really helpful and you can cater it to how the student learns. And people are busy. We have extracurriculars. We can't always be available at a specific time for a class at school or at university. So with AI, it's available anytime, any day. So if you're busy and you're only available at 11 p.m., then it can teach you there, and that's really helpful. And also, only 50% of the teachers are being replaced. So there's still 50% of teachers left. For the social aspect, it's not like you're sitting at home not socializing with anyone. There's still 50% of teachers left, so you're still talking with people.
1 minute.
It's also a patient person, so it's like some teachers are in different moods. Like people, we're not perfect, right? But AI, it's not really in a bad mood one day or in a good mood the other day. It's pretty consistent, which is really helpful, especially if you're learning and you're asking your teacher multiple questions and then they end up getting annoyed. But AI, it's not gonna get annoyed. It's gonna keep answering and answering in whatever way you want. It's really helpful. And also the statistic, 30% of students learn better. So if we already have this statistic, why would we not replace? Plus we're saving money because 30% of students, we should really put students first. Education is really important. So yeah.
I have a point of clarification as the judge. Was the statistic that 30% of students learn better or that all students learn 30% better?
Yeah, that's how I understood it. All students learn.
The second thing, all students
That's how I understood it.
improve their outcomes 30%. Okay, yeah, okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So we are against AI. We don't no. I think the 30% stat was really wonderful. Students improving learning. And I think we were talking about this for a little bit. It's great that AI can be leveraged. Here's the question though. What happens in the long run? And based off the sample size as well, how many students are getting access to this AI? So right now we're looking at 30% of students or students who are improving their education abilities by 30%. We don't really know what kind of students they are, whether they're gifted, whether they have any learning disabilities or no disabilities. If we're looking at students who are neurodivergent, ADHD, have any sort of circumstance that may prevent them from learning from a normal scale, I think that AI is definitely not something that would really help them develop their educational prowess. Reason being is that it's very difficult currently for AI to be proactive in creating critical thinking. And that's something I think that humans are very good at, assuming they're good teachers, are able to promote. So if I were to ask you guys, hey, how do you think this answer came about? Generally, we'd come up with a group discussion, and then you would be able to piggyback off of another student's ideas. And in today's day and age as well, I don't know about you guys, when I was coming up with this argument, the first thing I did was I entered ChatGPT and I put in this debate, and I used it as a starting point for guiding my argument. But if we look at education in the past, I think one of the reasons why we're all sitting in this room having these diverse conversations is because we have the element of human connection, and it's just starting conversations from ground zero rather than starting from maybe ground 4 or 5 with something that's already painted, right? That's a huge disadvantage of AI because it just already primes us to have a collectivist sort of mentality to be oh, this is naturally the correct starting point. Let's just go with that. But what if there was something else? And that's something that AI, I think, would actually repel this critical thinking skill that we've come about. The last thing that we touched on as well as to why, for this purpose of argument, as to why we're against AI is simply resources. When it comes down to leveraging AI, you do need technology. You need smartphones, you need laptops, you need a smart board, whatever you might need. We're, once again, going back to the beginning of this argument, we were looking at students who were thriving in an environment that might be in a high-income neighborhood that all has access to smartphones and laptops. What about the low-income areas? How are they getting access to AI? Furthermore, if we look at the economy as well, AI is replacing jobs. I think, yes, maybe for the greater good of things, that's wonderful. But what about the other half of the teachers? Are they just going to be unemployed? Are they going to learn AI and get outsourced? those are the questions that we have to ask. So, thank you.
I'm gonna have you guys stay up here actually. Both of you guys are gonna stay up here. So right now is gonna be the rebuttals. So really quickly, the team that's against AI, any kind of points that you want to address and point out to spokesperson here.
Functionally.
Please come up. Come up, Yusef.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. For everyone you can.
So functionally, 30% on a test score is the test score. So it's not actually comprehension of a skill. It's not necessarily the capability to learn the information, retain the information. It's 30% on a test score. So how would you imply that? How do you guarantee teachers or students learn from tutors, like tutor AI, versus like actually comprehend what they're saying? And that's a decent rebuttal, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, I'll take that.
You're here.
Anyone else got rebuttals on this side?
Yeah. Come on up. And then also for your guys' response, I'll give you guys 30 seconds to discuss and then have her come up and respond.
Hi, sorry, what was your name? Do you see how like I could just turn off the AI and not pay attention? And with a teacher there, you're gonna be engaging with them. If a child has special needs, if they just turn off the phone, if they don't engage with it, there's no way for the AI to turn themselves back on and force the child to learn. There has to be like a self-starting mechanism and model. So if you're trying to engage with me and I'm not engaging with you, that's what it's going to be like for the AI. You need the teacher, you need the human element there to get the kids in line and to say like that one day the teacher might be in a good mood, the next day they might be in a bad mood. It's undermining like hundreds and thousands of years of the education system that has worked. Yes, people are in good moods and bad moods, but they're still like putting the students above that and above their own personal emotions. And like to say that, oh, this machine is going to be better than a human kind of just goes against what's been working for hundreds of years. I come from a line of teachers in my family, and that they have a dynamic personality, but they still know how to handle it because they get into the teaching profession because they care about people and they care about learning. But when you have kids that are like special needs and that might not, that really need that one-on-one connection, you're just gonna grow like a generation of robots. We have enough screen time already with our children at home. We don't need to incorporate it into the school now.
Thank you.
That's why we're keeping half of the
Hey,
teachers.
you're about to get a chance. Yep. And that was their rebuttals for sure.
Perfect. And then if you could just, if you guys
should
could just
go.
discuss, spend 30 seconds coming up with any responses for those.
Dimitri has a rebuttal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're but they also care from a human perspective. Would you take some real human? Yeah, like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, that was good. 10 seconds.
But you can microwave some food for 2 minutes in the microwave. Do that someone that's like in the back.
You're loving these. You're loving these. All right, let's get your rebutters in place, guys.
Thinking like where the other half of the teachers are gonna go. There's Noah. Okay.
Now you got this. You already had 30 seconds. Time to Time to rebut.
Let's go.
Part of the fun is the spontaneity improv of it all. Hey, what's up, Lord? You're back.
Okay, so first I'm gonna rebuttal the point that schools have stayed the same for hundreds of years. Yeah, I think that's the problem because everything around you has been changing. Like nothing is the same as it was 100 years ago. Phones, we have phones now. Like technology, everything is evolving. So how come schools should stay the same? Like most people I know, they're not just using their teacher. They're going home and they're using AI to help teach it better because the teachers aren't doing the best job. Or even if they're a really good teacher, you can't cater to every single student, like I said. So everything is changing. So AI would be good. And also, the students who have learning disabilities, they can't learn as well. Then yeah, they can definitely get a teacher. There's 50% only of teachers are being eliminated, right? Or no, changing jobs. So the ones that are like left over, they can get the students that don't learn as well. Right? Like we're talking about the average student who don't have learning disabilities, and they can learn with AI, and then they can also get some teacher help. And with the social aspect, we're still going to school. We're just getting AI to help learn. Like we're not completely eliminating.
Also means pooping.
Yeah, so you still have friends and you still have teachers. We're not completely, no word. But yeah.
Discount.
Also, with the extra funding we have from changing the teachers, we can invest in laptops, and maybe the government can even subsidize people that can't afford laptops and technology. Also, I made a good point over here that technology is actually getting cheaper across the world. Like even in Africa, it's being cheaper. So we can definitely use the extra money to subsidize laptops for people that can't afford it. Yeah, those are our main points that we made.
Okay, closing remarks.
Perfect. No, before we do that really quickly, we're gonna have you guys, any sort of rebuttals, objections for the group that's against AI teachers? Yeah, so other way around. Basically, they gave their objections, so now it's your guys' turn to give your objections. Does anyone have any sort of objections? Okay.
So they mentioned that the AI cannot interact. But I think that's one-sided because AI are becoming more autonomous and agents as well. So once the technology got to a point where it's more advanced, it's not just typing or talking to it. It's going to be like it can be a robot. There's already being used in medical in Japan, wherein there's a nurse that's a robot. So it's interacting to senior citizens like it's a caregiver with the emotions that's needed. So
Yeah, Lord, the guy married his ChatGPT account like 2 months ago, so it's
Yeah.
So it's not replacing, but it's enhancing.
And also price.
What was your big point you were gonna make? Stand up and
That
tell
was
it.
something else. I have not.
Okay, yeah.
But price, if you look at the salary of one teacher, there's probably enough iPads for all the students for the remainder of the year, because technology is so much cheaper now. That's my point.
That's a fair point. Perfect.
I'm not sure if it is.
Yeah?
Because
Because the argument was that it's expensive to replace technology. I don't think it is expensive.
to get those 30% gains that they're talking about, they're gonna spend money on AI technology. Then that's the money that these 50% teacher salaries, if they were gonna spend more than 50% teacher salaries, they would get more than 30% gains. If they cut 70%, probably the assumption that we had to deal with that each student went up 30%, that would go up higher.
That's like time investment and the AI technology. Once you train it, once you have the infrastructure, looking at the recurring cost for having a teacher, this would be cheaper in the long run.
Likely these would be recurring costs as well. They would be cloud infrastructure and licensing fees plus one-time deployments via humans or something like that. Fuck, dude, these guys lock you into the worst contracts.
But any service provider, if I were the owner, I would make sure that if my teacher's cost is, let's say, 100K per year, my product is offered at, let's say, 70K or 80K, still saving the school 20K per teacher.
Fair enough. Let's just save it for your closing remarks. You get like a whole minute here in a second to round out.
I guess so, yeah.
Come on.
Can I just say something though? Like,
If
I'm
you
just
want.
curious, like, when it comes into the variables of this argument, right? Like, what is this software? Does it need to be FIPA compliant in terms of?
You have to assume that it meets all the, to give the 30% gain, you have to assume for the sake of argument it meets the regulations of the school.
Right. Am I deploying some sort of on-prem thing that like costs me like $1 million per school? Or
You're,
something?
it costs you 50% of a teacher's salary over some amortized period.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Correlation is not causation. Like just because we see this 30% gain, it could be because things are going faster, so then they get like a longer recess, they have more exercise, and that's the reason why the children are doing
That's a good point.
Sorry, what's the point again? Like,
That simply their outcomes are like, okay, if it took you only 2 hours to learn from an AI versus 8 hours to learn from a teacher, but you learned the equal amount of things, your outcomes still might be 30% better because you get more time for art, music, shop, religion, recess, fucking starting a business. All.
so you have,
You can't argue with the judge. Yo, in a minute, we get closing remarks, and I'll give my judgment, and then you can critique my judgment. Yeah, give it Barry. But not you, Dean. You get to critique me. It's an honorable.
My question is this. If you mentioned that there's 30 students per class, does that mean that each teacher has 60 students?
Yes, I was going to say that.
sorry?
If we've reduced
Yes.
it by 50%, that means that each teacher has 60 students.
Correct.
They're responsible for.
Yes.
But there was yes, I guess it would make sense that's the case. Yeah. They would be like working autonomously vis-a-vis the teaching thing, and they would be more like room minders or something.
Do you feel good that we have 60 students per teacher?
That's a great one too.
They'll be 30% smarter, so yeah, it's...
Okay, so let's go into closing remarks now. So using all of the information that you guys have now gotten from both sides during the debate, give us a quick 1-minute statement on how your views have improved.
Just for that point, university lecture rooms have up to 500 people in them for one professor. And there's not a lot of chaos happening. Yeah, they're university students, but like high school students are still normal people. Like nothing would happen much if there was only 60 students per classroom. That's okay. And all the other points are already justified. Like the people who need special teaching can still get the teachers. And then a lot of people can use AI as a teacher, and then if they have like special questions that AI is not answering, then they have that one teacher. But I think overall it's still a very good solution because again, you're saving money, students are learning better, and yeah. And the correlation causation, yeah, so if you're learning all the materials in 2 hours as opposed to 8 hours, that's such a good time investment, and then you can invest that time into better things to do. So I don't know why you wouldn't do that, especially if you're still learning all the information anyway.
Final statements?
For the sake of debating, I don't think that AI will improve education. And that's because we have to define what education is. When it comes down to learning and increasing test scores, that comes down to getting the right answer, which is awesome on a test. When was the last time you remembered something off of a wall of text that you read off of ChatGPT? Like you just went down this massive rabbit hole, maybe you like did some self-study, and then maybe within 2 days, you forgot all of it. So we have to look at the idea of retention. When it comes to information retention, really good teachers are very good at helping students manage and retain their knowledge over time. When it comes down to your argument with the lecture, that's precisely right. 500 students in a classroom is far too much, let alone 60, right? Now we're doubling the number of students in a classroom, which will force students to go home and talk to a machine, AI, to like basically just pass their test, which is awesome for education, like for within the current system, but it's not really promoting any sort of learning or further critical thinking. And then we looked at budgeting as well. There's no actual hardcore proof right now saying that. We'd have to run the numbers to find out if it's actually an economical decision. But I think our case remains that we're increasing the number of students to teacher to student ratio, and we're probably just, not probably, I think we definitely are just expediting better test scores, but not necessarily improving education overall, given the fact that you mentioned you use AI specifically for classes you don't really care about. So if that became for every single class, then we're screwed.
Yeah! Hey! Bravo! Bravo!
And now...
Drop the mic! Drop the mic!
Shame, ladies and gentlemen, Jackson Blue. Thanks, buddy. That was fun, guys. That was super awesome. I love that everyone got over here into a group and got over here into a group. Let me give you a couple of reflections, and then I'm gonna invite Dean to come up and give some final words. I think that probably you guys won, but you didn't make any of the best points for the night. The best points I thought were made by Michelle and by others in your group when you said, because I double-checked the slide, it said it improves student outcomes by 30%, but it didn't say all student outcomes, it didn't say who had access, so one could assume only the people that had access got the 30% better boost. And because that wasn't clarified, I thought that was a really good point. But actually, I thought you guys missed the kind of point of the argument in general. I don't think that the strongest cases are anti-AI. I think they're for teachers in the classroom or something like that, or maybe even questioning the assumptions of why do we gotta fire half those teachers? Could they be PE teachers, art teachers, music teachers, sports coaches, beatboxing people, like kids. There are different way to augment people's education with these gain and benefits or whatever like that. So anyway, Noah, thank you so much for being brave coming up here. You know, Dimitri.
Just walk with
Come take the mic, buddy. Dimitri Schwartzman.
Thank you. There was a couple of points that, first of all, Aliza wanted to make one point about her experience at the school to counter some of the points that you made. And maybe after I finish, I'll ask you to bring up your point. But I think in my mind, some of the strongest arguments for this side would be that if we keep all the teachers, we can just get them educated by AI better, and then they can present a way better teaching and better lessons to the same amount of students, and nobody's getting fired. So they're just getting better educated by AI themselves, as opposed to this. So that was my point. Eliza, did you want to mention one? If that's all right, we'll get on to
mafia around here. Eliza Schwartzman. Got any other Schwartzmans who want to talk here tonight?
Okay, so one point that you said that you can ask AI, it'll just give you a paragraph and then the next day or whatever you forget it. The thing is, that's usually what teachers give you. They give you a textbook, they tell you to read it, remember or whatever, and then write whatever your answer is. But with AI, you can ask to make like games or whatever. Like what I did, like when me and Noah were studying, we gave them like the hormones and the neurotransmitters, like serotonin, dopamine, or whatever. We were trying to learn those words. So what we did is we gave them all the words and we said, give us examples of them and make a game out of it. So it gave us examples or whatever. We guessed it said correct or it was whatever, it was wrong. So it said like this because whatever. And then I said, give it like an example how I can remember that word with the definition. What was there was like glutamate. How you remember it is you study, you memorize because of the M, you memorize with the mate. So it gives you like examples of how you can remember that word easier. So I feel like that's what I use AI for.
We gotta wrap this shit up, but this is the perfect opportunity for me to tell you about my vision for AI tutors and stuff and why I think they're interesting. Imagine a world for a second where when someone enters 7th or 8th grade, they get an AI tutor assigned to them on their phone from their parents or some tutoring company. Now imagine as they move through the programs year to year and different teachers move in and out of their lives, that they maintain a body of knowledge, a curriculum, a knowledge base. Imagine projects not necessarily being like make work bullshit jerk-offs, pardon the students in the room, but actually something that you'd want to keep with you over time and collect. What if your math assignment was about your cosmetics company, Eliza, and how you're going to balance your budgets this year? And what if you got to take that from grade 10 to 11 to 12 with you? And when your teachers left you, the AI stayed with you and provided you continuity as the progressive education as you went from economics to calculus to advanced maths. What if you got to take your cosmetics business plan and continue to evolve it over time and keep it with you? And when you graduate, instead of graduating with a diploma, what if you graduate with a company that you export out of your AI tutor that you've been building this whole time? And the teachers in your life can still love you. They can know your preferences. They can know what you like and how you feel and help you with your emotions and your motivation and your clarity, your judgment, your wisdom, your taste, these things. But do they really have that much to offer when it comes to customizing mathematical and chemistry projects for a woman who's trying to make a cosmetics company? I just don't know. I don't know how teachers can help out in that environment. So I think there's this opportunity for us to have these like persistent educational buddies that stick with us as the years change, as the mandates of the school district change, as the standardized testing change, and allow us to carry with us a body of work, a knowledge base that we can repurpose as businesses or nonprofits or impact upon the world. All right, Dean. Burn it all down to the ground, bro. Let's go.
60 seconds.
We gotta go.
60 seconds. Okay, so first of all, arguments and making your kind of like counter argument. If I can judge, I'm gonna judge. When it comes to arguing on the stage, I do have a couple tips to give. There is a thing called pathos. Do you know what it is? It's Latin. Pathos, logos. Logos means your logical construct of argument. Comparing two sides, I think both sides did a great job in terms of logic. You build a good, constructive logic to what you're trying to argue against each other. Pathos. What are pathos? It's a passion. It's a passion for the subject. It's you creating some sort of human energy as you're creating argument. Pathos were excellent example by the gentleman here at the end. Why? Because he was raising his voice. He was creating a presence. What about ethos?
No,
well,
logos.
no, logos very steep. Logic. Ethos. It's a character credibility. Guess what? The other side wins. Who could be more credible than the student from the actual school? Now, what did I just do? I do what teachers do. They tell a story. They explain things. They explain story and things, and they try to teach you from different angles. So when Chris said that maybe you can prompt AI and you can get an answer in a fraction of a second, and maybe that answer can teach you very quickly and fast some type of knowledge base, and maybe that knowledge was taught 8 hours by the teacher, the outcome will be different. Because a good teacher will teach you more than just an answer. It will teach you human knowledge of behavior, human knowledge of thinking about thinking problems, human knowledge of interaction with the public, with peers. You cannot transition this to AI. Think about AI. How many years do you have to spend in school before you can start using AI? First of all, you can't type because you can't read and you cannot write. So if we could fire 50% of teachers from the primary school, who's going to be using AI if they can't speak or type or write even prompts, right? Another thing is how you write prompts.
Wrap around, Dean. Land the ship, bro.
I will end it on this way. We are in a crisis, and the crises are simple. People who are graduating from high school and universities right now have no critical thinking. The only thing they learn is how to type in the prompt. That's what the problem is. What is critical thinking?
It's showing up at this event and like debating against a bunch of adults that you've never met before, man.
That's what school, that's what teacher teach you. What else is critical thinking?
Deductive reasoning.
Another most important part of critical thinking is to not believe what everything is written. When AI gives you an answer, you should have a critical thinking about, does this answer make sense and should I follow this answer? And guess what? We have cases right now in newspapers about people misusing AI and getting into big problems. In the business world, in the personal world, and everywhere else, there is an AI bias. Don't listen to AI. Listen to your first. Thank you.
You guys can wrap it up, and I'd like to invite, would you guys like to do a group photo together up here? Would you guys like to come up together? We all stand and Michelle make a group photo. Do you mind? We can do it with our iPhones. We don't gotta do it. Yeah, come on up, guys. Let's do a photo together. Dean. Barely. Let's step up here a little more to the light. Let's step forward a couple feet, everybody. We're all gonna be standing together. No one's behind anybody else. We'll come in nice and close. Amol, keep spreading out so we're even.
Well, hi, Dre. Actually, yeah, let's have some people come in front rather than just one big line.
And we'll come right
If
here.
you want to come, like, even get down, like, a little bit.
All right.
Hamstring, you want to go down? You
Talk.
want to go down with these youngsters? Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
come on
What's
in.
up, Joy?
Hi, I'm late.
What's up?
And then, gentlemen, this makes you look like you have no arms. So just release at least one arm from your body in. Come on in.
I got arms.
Yeah, if you got arms, don't do this.
What are these?
Yeah. Nice, guys. Nice. Hands in pockets, thumbs out. Evenly distribute your weight here for me, Brady.
Hands in pockets, thumbs out.
Yeah.
Never heard that process.
Ever heard that? Okay, this looks great. Let me just check the lighting.
Before you be done, tell us so we can do a silly one.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Great, and now silly one.
Can you give like a wave or a thumbs up or a strap?
Just don't block the space, okay? Everybody?
Flex.
Lots of energy. Let's let
Blow up a
everybody in the
shirt.
next room know that we're here, okay? 3, 2, 1, go.
That's a wrap after Matthew says. Thank you so much, guys, for coming out.
Thank you.